I just said, you know what, when the king gets out of control, the royalty gets out of control, the peasants revolt. And just a hush fell over the room, and I just said, Peasantman. That's what I'm going to call it, Peasantman.
The idea for Peasantman came about from Joe McMahon almost a decade ago, and been wanting to do a long-distance triathlon that was very inexpensive for people to be able to afford, because the prices of other corporate races have just kept going up and up.
Can't afford the $3,000 weekend package anymore, especially when I want to do 3 of them a year.
I've seen a degradation in the quality of experience that I would get at some of the venues, where they were floating more on the name and not on delivering what I felt was a really good course, great, energy for the volunteers, good post-race, that kind of thing.
I started thinking about ways that I could get a course certified.
When the day came and he had to set the date and he was going to do this race, he said I had to be at his race. I said I have to be at your race, because the only way to be validated is that he had to be there and I had to be there.
The conversations that we had up in Adirondack Experience up in Lake Placid, how this whole idea started.
Although Peasantman has the 3 different distances in the full, half, and what we call the Steel Olympic, there's really 6 different races, because aside from those 3, you can also do the half relay or the aqua bike at both the full or half distance.
And when we looked at Indian Pines Park, it was just, this has everything we need as a transition area. Great flow, great traffic.
The park itself is a gem. Keuka Lake is as good as it gets.
The swim was a really big hit, because a lot of people came up to us after the race to tell us how much they loved it, how clear the water was, and how you could see the bottom the whole way.
It's an out and back. You go out 0.6, you come back 0.6 for the half, and you do it twice for the full. One of the people actually came up to me after the swim, and he said, it's like swimming in a beautiful fish tank or flying over the top of a pine forest.
I basically did a bicycle fitting for Joe. He brought his tri-bike down, I fitted up, and he left. I hadn't heard from him for a while, and I get this call from Joe.
I don't know if you remember me, I'm Joe McMahon.
I did, and he said, my bike fit was great, and so I'm putting this race together, and I've got an opportunity for you. And I must admit, my heart kind of sank for a second. What's this opportunity?
I'm thinking about putting on a full distance triathlon out in Penn Yan, and would you be interested in being involved?
And I thought, I have to be involved in that. How cool is that?
We started working on it together, and Jim and his crew at Geneva Bikes put together the race course.
It's a fun rolling ride. There's some climb, enough to make it fun and not boring, but I don't think many people came away thinking, boy, that was a really tough climbing course.
I think it's probably one of the best bike courses I've ever ridden. I've ridden Ironman World Championships in Vegas. I've done Lake Placid 8 times. I've done Naples, Florida.
Wide open, beautiful hills, beautiful farmland.
It's the place, to be honest, where when I leave my house and I go for a ride so much of the time, I turn down in that direction and ride some of those same roads out of choice, just because it is beautiful and there's so few cars.
I love racing in the Finger Lakes. I love living here. It's such a beautiful place. The bike course is a great showcase of that area. There were a lot of the Amish out in their horse and buggies on a Sunday morning, and that's like a real kind of like memorable trademark.
We'll be there bright and early to take care of any last minute issues. We'll be set up right outside of transition. We'll have a tent with tools and bike parts, and be ready to take care of adjustments or the last minute tragedies of I forgot this. And then as soon as everybody is all set there, we'll be out on the course waiting, driving round and round with a van with everything needed to fix a flat or take care of other problems.
We accidentally went up Westlake Road, which was right above the lake, and instantaneously I said, oh my God, this is our run course.
The run is an out and back loop, so it leaves Indian Pines Park and heads down along Westlake Road down to Keuka College, and that's where the turnaround is, and then you come right back.
The loop courses is something that I truly enjoy because it does break it up. The athletes in their mind can segment the courses. They're not just gone for 3 hours on the bike and then the family sees them for 5 seconds, and then they're gone for another 3 hours on the bike.
It allows you mentally to break things up a little bit into smaller increments, and that makes it a little bit more approachable.
In the full, they have access to their special needs bags on the run 8 times. We were also able to have a water station at every mile of the run, and we were able to have a water station every 10 miles of the bike. Nobody was ever more than 14 miles away from the race site, and that was at the furthest point of the bike.
People who are concerned about doing their first half iron, who are concerned about making a cutoff time, this is the perfect race because you're dealing with no cutoff time for the half. You have as long as you need.
My role as it came down was to make sure that every inch of this course was labeled, marked, and above all, most importantly, safe.
Not only is Penn Yan the perfect place to have a course like this, in the swim, the bike, and the run, but the village would just embrace the idea. They were really behind it.
It has been an absolutely beautiful experience to be able to work with such wonderful people who are happy all the time, love where they are, and willing to help us.
They just said basically, whatever you need, keep us posted and do a good job.
One of the things I'd like to see triathlon get away from is that we have these standard distances. Each race should have its own personality and be a little different.
It is a steel distance triathlon, and steel is stronger than other metals. You should be looking to push yourself a little bit further.
The additional miles are all within the bike course. The swim is the same and the run is the same.
I realized it would be really great if when the peasants have finished this task, that they would receive knighthood.
The whole theme, the Peasantman theme, the king being knighted.
I've got a list on my phone going already of things, new things for the course next year that are going to be better.
What we also are able to do is give back to our communities.
A portion of every entry fee goes towards a charity of your choice from our list of 6 charities. Every good thing I ever saw another race do, we have made a conscious effort to put it into Peasantman.
What I got from racers is I can't wait to come back next year. I was actually really surprised at the overwhelmingly positive feedback that I got. I mean, it was fantastic.
We definitely need volunteers. The race doesn't exist without volunteers. From the kids that were involved to the locals that got involved, it was so amazing to see people embrace this and cheer for the athletes and ensure the athletes' safety.
The king, the finger legs, and being knighted, that is classic.
I truly believe that anybody that sees the race that we put on for the affordable amount that we put it on for, I think they're going to be back.
Look at the feedback you see online, talk to somebody who went there, come on out and give it a try. It's a beautiful part of the world.